Test, test, test. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 127th Commencement Exercises celebration of the class of 2020. Please stand. Yep. Please stand and remain standing for the National Anthem sung by All-State Choir member Jack McAuliffe.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? That's very echoey. Yeah. Oh.
Before we begin today, I'd like to introduce you to some special guests that have joined me on the field. I'd like to recognize our Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. Michelle Brantner. Your Commencement Speaker, Mr. Tyler Cooper. Honors Graduate Speaker, Maisie Moses. And Senior Class President, Megan Faulkner. I would also like to recognize the teachers who stand behind you today who are sharing your day with you. And in particular, I'd like to thank Mrs. Coons and Mrs. Tangretti, your senior class advisors. When the COVID-19 crisis hit, the immediate thought was always the class of 2020. What would we do and how would we handle this? What I can tell you from my perspective is you've handled it with poise and grace. You've handled it under pressure, you've handled it at home, and you've handled it together as a class. Your class officers and I met, and they kept asking, can we please get the class of 2020 together one more time? It is through their efforts and their hard work that we sit here today as a class for the last time. So congratulations, class of 2020. It is my sincere honor to introduce you to your senior class president, Miss Megan Faulkner. Megan?
the Marcellus class of 2020, our day has finally arrived. After years of hard work, dedication, and various bumps along the way, today we graduate. Only 4 short years ago, we walked this stage to take the step from middle school into high school, not knowing the many challenges the next few years would entail. Now today, we walk this same stage to take an even bigger step from high school out into the real world. We can all agree that this is not how we pictured our graduation our senior year, but in the end, all of the obstacles we have faced these past couple of months will only make us stronger in the future. Our first year of high school seemed very much normal. We were the newcomers into a world that was so much more different than middle school. Most of us walked the halls quietly at first, with schedules in hand, trying our very best to navigate the unfamiliar building, while also trying not to get in the way of the upperclassmen. Soon, however, we were all used to the building, how to get to our classes, and the overall flow of high school. As freshmen, we sat at the left side of the cafeteria, stood at the top of the bleachers at football games, and had the last say in everything. We were also making lots of new friends, meeting new teachers, and taking more intense classes. Yet what we didn't know is that this year would set the stage for success in high school, as well as college and life goals. The time June rolled around, there was rumor we wouldn't be returning to the high school until our senior year due to the Capitol Project. And before we knew it, the rumors soon became realistic. We started sophomore year in the middle school, and then junior year as well. We soon made the middle school our home once again. At the time, I think we were all disappointed that we had to spend half of our high school career in a different building. Yet after a while, we had grown used to it, and we had the brand new high school to look forward to our senior year. Over the course of these 2 years as well, we faced the loss of 2 of our dearest friends, Matthew Norris and Sydney Haggett, but many of us know him as Zach. Matt was the friendliest and kindest person you could ever meet, while Zach's smile and laugh always lit up the room, and both of them had such a huge impact on all of our lives. Although I wish they could be here today with us, I know they are both watching over all of us, and they know how much we miss and love them dearly. The start of senior year was very exciting. There was so many things that each of us were looking forward to. Our last homecoming, pep rally, senior night, senior ball, the senior trip, college decisions, and most of all, graduation. For years, we sat back and watched every senior class before us participate in these events. We never really thought that we wouldn't be able to have the same experience as the seniors before us. On March 13th of this year, everything changed. We did not expect our last day together to be a random day in March due to a global pandemic. Classes were soon switched to online learning, and we held up hope for the longest time that we would be able to return. However, it didn't come as a surprise when the governor announced that schools would be closed for the remainder of the year, but that doesn't mean it made it any less worse. It was a strange feeling personally that I would never be returning back to the high school, that I may never see the people I've spent the last 13 years of my life with, or that I might never step and fit into the building again. It was truly heartbreaking. Although the loss of our senior year was hard on everyone, I truly believe it will only make us stronger in the future. We were the class that was born when the world was grieving 9/11, and now we're graduating in the midst of a global pandemic. There is no doubt in my mind that these events will shape us into amazing individuals. The hardships we have faced will make us differ from any other class. We are more empathetic, independent, and more mature beyond our years. It has also shown us that we must continue to the end, no matter what the circumstances, because life will continue to be unpredictable beyond 2020. If I have learned anything from the past year, it is that we must never take anything for granted. Life is too short to do so. We should work hard for what we want to achieve, but also enjoy the ride while doing so. Do something out of your comfort zone, and don't be so serious all the time. We are not promised every single day, so live every day like it's the last. Before I end, I would like to thank all the teachers and staff at Marcellus for helping us along the way. Without you, we would not be standing here today. I especially want to thank Mr. Durkee and Mrs. Brantner for everything you have done for us in the past couple of months. Your actions did not go unnoticed, and we appreciate you never giving up on us, even in this tough time. I am truly grateful I have been able to last spend the 13 years at Marcellus with the most amazing class, and I was honored I was chosen to lead it for the past 4. Congratulations to my fellow classmates. I am truly proud of each and every one of you. I wish you all the best of luck and can't wait to see where life takes you.
A tradition of Marcellus Senior High School is the honors graduate. One amongst the honors graduate was chosen to speak on behalf of the entire student body. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce you to this year's honors speaker, Maisie Moses.
Good morning, and thank you, Mrs. Brantner, Mr. Durkee, faculty, parents, and seniors. Wow, we are the class of 2020. We did it. What a crazy few months it's been. We will be remembered as the COVID class or the pandemic class, but we are more than that. Our patience, commitment, and grit has been tested throughout our whole high school career, and we persevered. Let's take a trip down memory lane. As freshmen, we went from being the bosses of the middle school to being the youngest in the high school. I got lost so many times my first week of classes. I'm sure I wasn't the only one who had to ask upperclassmen for directions. Although the change was slightly intimidating, we worked through the transition by getting involved in the various school clubs or sports. And by the end of the year, I'm sure all of us figured out that our high school is actually just a big square. And just when we thought we would be the big bad sophomores, the high school renovation started, and we moved back to the middle school. Not yet able to drive, we had to lug all our heavy sports bags, backpacks, and equipment to the turf every day for sports. Our first year back in the middle school had many amazing things come out of it, though. For example, the Beauty and the Beast show was amazing. The band and chorus students made lots of great memories on the Philly trip, and some of us had the opportunity to get involved with the Boomerang Bags project. After spending some time in the middle school, we realized that no matter where we all were, we could come together to overcome challenges and keep our sense of community and school spirit in a new location. We adapted to our new environment and made the most of it. Junior year proved a tough year for many of us. We took harder classes and suffered through the grueling SAT and ACT tests while beginning our college searches. Looking for colleges to tour is especially tough, not knowing what to major in or what program to go into. Researching all the different options and going on tours made us experienced in time management, as we had to balance a hefty high school schedule with preparation for college applications. Although we encountered emotional, mental, and physical barriers, we supported each other and understood each other on a higher level by knowing that others were going through the same thing. We pushed through the difficult times by helping each other, and we persevered. Senior year started out so exciting. We were finally back up to the high school where we belong, with a newly renovated school with new science labs, locker rooms, and library. The athletic fields and auditorium were very close and easily accessible, and we were finally able to have senior privileges, like sitting in the courtyard, late arrival, and early dismissal. We even made it through the difficult college application process. Then came news of the COVID outbreak in China. No one could have foreseen it coming. School closed and online learning took over. Just weeks later, spring sports were devastatingly canceled. The French trip and the band and chorus trip were permanently canceled. Senior ball was gone. Our senior year came to an abrupt end. Once again, despite the enormous setback, we figured out online school and adapted it into our quarantine lifestyles. Unable to physically see each other, we connected more through social media, FaceTime, and video games. Our administration got creative and did our senior drive-by, and our community sponsored the After the Ball raffle. We focused on staying positive and hoping for better days, and look where we are. We are here. We are graduating and receiving a diploma. Nothing stopped us, not even a pandemic. Each and one of us has faced challenges, obstacles, and setbacks throughout high school, and through our perseverance, we have overcome them. Perseverance is one of the biggest lessons that high school has taught us. We know how to adapt to situations, and we know how to live in the moment because we realized just how quickly everything can end. Everything we have learned has prepared us for moving on to the next chapter of our lives, and we are ready. We've been through a lot, and we've come so far. Each of us has a future with new opportunities and adventures awaiting us. Everyone will be successful in their own particular way. Our freshman year began with the eye-opening lesson of Rachel's Challenge, teaching us that random acts of kindness are a chain reaction. Given the circumstances in the nation today, I want to leave you by asking all of you to think about making random acts of kindness a daily habit in your lives. How fitting that we started our freshman year with a kindness challenge, and we are ending our senior year with a world in need of kindness. And whatever your path may be, I wish you the best of luck in your future. And remember, we are, and forever will be, Mustangs. Thank you.
Each year, the class officers meet with me to discuss the selection of their guest speaker. I give one specific instruction: make sure the person represents the entire class. It's my pleasure to introduce you to today's guest speaker, chosen by the students. 4 years ago, I hired a fresh-faced science teacher full of energy and enthusiasm. My only concern is that he looked too much like the kids. He is a scientist. He knows his science. In fact, he attended medical school until he realized that his passion lay working with children, teaching and coaching. Tyler Cooper is a graduate of Oswego State University and Lemoyne College, and has served on our science staff as a living environment, chemistry, anatomy and physiology, and SUNY ESF Global Environment teacher. Graduates, please help me welcome your commencement speaker, Mr. Tyler Cooper.
You made it! We're here. Before I start the speech, I just want to extend a heartfelt thanks. It's an honor to be here with all of you, and there's no place I'd rather be on a rainy upstate day than helping send you guys off to the next chapter. Now, before I begin, I need to proceed with full transparency. As I was drafting what I wanted to say, I thought it may help to have a tagline to weave throughout the speech. I realize that I am now being inconspicuously brainwashed by my children, and hence I name my speech, "Some Things Never Change," courtesy of the 1,000,000th time we have watched Frozen 2. Now that true confessions are over, let's proceed. When I was contacted to speak at your commencement, I will admit I was having a very difficult day. It was the last 2 weeks of school, and I was trying to help each student finish the year strong. It was a daunting task, to say the least. Then, just as I tried to complete the daily grind of answering emails and questions, my phone dinged yet again. As I prepared to catapult my phone into the nearest wall, the title of the email caught my attention: Upcoming Graduation. As I read the body of the email, my day quickly went from a day of turmoil and struggle to that of joy and hope. That is because of each and every one of you gathered here today. One small gesture truly can change a trajectory. As we continue to prepare for this day, for you, it felt like every event was an opportunity to bless a class that had helped to welcome me to their home. One of those events was the sign delivery to each of your homes. We began our day with an itinerary. Sonny and I rode together with Baby Yoda and a banner that recognized our soccer seniors. A banner, mind you, that would eventually overheat Sonny's car. And as we read through the list, I realized how many of you I had either had as students or knew through other activities. Now, many times when teachers look at a list of names, they get to some, and all of a sudden their brows are suddenly furrowed and they're grinding their teeth. As I read the list of names, instead of finding frustration, I found octaves I didn't even know I had. Let me explain. Man, look, they're a senior? No way, they're a senior? Oh my gosh, they're a senior too? By the time we were getting towards the end of the day, instead of cheering, I found myself screaming and hanging wildly out of the window of the car. Sometimes our body language says more than words ever will. As time continued, we saw this day coming closer on the calendar. We realized that instead of it being a coast to the finish for all of you, it was an uphill battle to completion. The kind of uphill battle your grandparents talk about. When I had to go to school, I had to go uphill both ways. Congratulations, you now have a story to share with your future generations. Word it however you like, embellish the event slightly, and make sure that youngins appreciate the events that you survived. There's something comforting about sharing past hardships. So go ahead, share. Talk about what you did to get through your senior year. Because the fact of the matter is, you made it. Whatever you did, however hard you tried, the obstacles you overcame brought you to this moment and prepared you for your future. It is hard to believe that the last time you saw each and every one of your classmates was mid-March. Look around. Have they changed? Have you changed? You were provided a gift in a pivotal time of your life, a time to think about what really matters. Most only get this moment of reflection at the conclusion of what we call the Great Race. Remember what you turn to as a refuge from the disturbance and the uncertainty in your day-to-day. Make sure to keep that as an anchor to keep you grounded, but also a sail to keep you moving to your final destination. Now, as much as we all love technology to keep our streaks alive, to get those likes, to tweet, chirp, troll, or ghost, you have realized how short it falls of face-to-face interaction. Think about it. If all of those things fulfilled all the needs for interaction, why in the world would high school students say they miss school? Know that you were meant to be social, not virtually with a device in hand, authentically, in person. Not staring at a screen, but instead standing beside. Not sending electronic hearts, but holding an embrace as you carry someone through a tough time. Not following someone, but rather cheering them on in person. Not sharing through a digital stream, but jumping up and down enthusiastically while holding each other in victory. And not congratulating virtually because you deserve all the accolades and see face to face just how proud I am of you, as well as the rest of the community on your accomplishments. I couldn't be more proud to call myself a Mustang than I am right now with you here today. Seeing you overcome the impossible, rise to the challenge, and set examples for generations to come. History has shown that generations that experience hardships and setbacks grow and develop to do revolutionary things. Things that maybe we thought were impossible or simply chose not to fulfill. Given everything that you have already experienced and the success you have shown, even now, you will truly be one of the greatest generations our world has ever known. When we look back, we will see you as the leaders and pioneers of the future. You are the ones who carried the banner, stood shoulder to shoulder, and didn't give up. Not only did you take care of your needs, but more importantly, you saw to the needs of loved ones, friends, and even strangers. So as we help you conclude this chapter and begin the next, know that we look to you as the ones to make great change. Not in the years to come, but now, today. You have the experience beyond your years and the knowledge to know what to do with that experience. Though you have lost some things during this time, you have gained exceedingly more. Understand that great change comes on the heels of remembering things that have always been. Simple things, handshakes, hugs, actually listening to those who don't agree with you, being present with the people and the world around you, and striving to make it better. Some things will never change. And as always, stay classy, Mustangs.
Before we conclude today's ceremony, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Ryan Riefler and his crew. Just showing up today and sitting in the bleachers was a monumental task that many, many people worked on hard to make sure that it happened. So I'd like to personally thank Ryan Riefler for his work. I'd like to personally thank Adam Greiner for all of his digital and technological savvy in making this online presence available to everybody. Your parents are watching in their cars. I'd also like to thank all of the parents who came here and decorated this morning in the pouring rain for you. You see all these people out here? If you would see all these people around you, seniors, graduates, give them a wave and say thank you.
Mr. Durkee, you forgot one person.
Who?
Hey, class of 2020, there's somebody that loves you almost as much as your parents, and he's standing to my left. Can you give your thanks to your awesome high school principal, Mr. Durkee?
Shouldn't have done that. Class of 2020, please stand. The mission of the Marcellus Central School District is to develop responsibility, confidence, talents, knowledge in all who walk across the stage and receive a diploma. President McAuliffe, Superintendent Brantner, and graduates, I humbly state mission accomplished for the class of 2020, the 127th graduating class of Marcellus Senior High School. At this time, seniors, I would ask you as a class, as you came in together and as you leave today, to turn your tassels from the right to the left, moving from senior to graduate of Marcellus Senior High School. This concludes our commencement exercises of the class in 2020. I'd like to extend a sincere congratulations and heartfelt best wishes to each and every one of you. This will be a, no, I'm not going to read that. I appreciate all of your understanding. I appreciate all of your character. You've shown it today. You've shown it for the past 4 years. Congratulations, class of 2020. Teachers, lead them out.